Now we know that a proposition is a statement to which we can assign true or false value. For example, if I say 2 is greater than 10. Now what does it mean? This is a statement. Can it be a proposition? Yes, it is, because we know that it is false. 2 is not greater than 10, and so we are able to assign some truth value to this statement, to this particular statement, and so we can call this statement as proposition. Right? And now we have a concept called as propositional function. So if we have a predicate, okay, let me take an example. If instead of 2 is greater than 10, if I say x is greater than 10, now it has two parts. One part is called as variable, and the other part, this entire thing, is called as predicate, right? And now this entire statement as such cannot take either true or false without knowing what is the value of x at this point. If you substitute in place of x a value of 2, then it turns out to be false. If you substitute in place of x a value of 12, it turns out to be true. Therefore, this statement as such cannot be called as a proposition, but such statements will be very useful for us in this subject. So we call it as propositional function. Propositional function, right? So a propositional function is supposed to have two things. One is a variable, one or more variables will be present, and the second is some predicate will be present. Most often we generally refer this this thing with a symbolic representation. Let us say p of x is used to represent this propositional function. Now what does p of 2 mean? If p of x means x is greater than 10, then p of 2 means 2 is greater than 10. What will be the truth value of that? False. What about p of 12? P of 12 is true, because 12 is greater than 10. So like this, we can assign certain values to the variable and we can get the truth values, right? So this particular assignment, when I assign a particular value to the variables present in the propositional function transforms to proposition, right? And this is very important concept. Let's see some more examples. Let us say Ravi has a X phone, right? Now if you see this, there are two things in this. One is Ravi has a phone and X is a variable, right? And depending on the model of phone I have, this statement can be true or false. Now if I say P of X, right, then if I call this statement as P of X, then depending on what the value of X is, it may be true or false. For example, it is like Ravi has a Samsung phone. How can I represent it? P of Samsung, right? Or Ravi has a Apple phone. How can I represent it? Apple, right? Depending on what type of phone I have, now this one will this one will get converted to predicate, and we can assign truth or true value or false value depending on the type of phone I have, right? Let us say we have one more statement. See, I am just giving you one more example where we can have more than one variable in the propositional function. If the propositional function is having more than one variable, assume that computer X is connected to network Y. Then you can represent this propositional function using the shortcut like this: P of X comma Y. Now P of X comma Y is a propositional function. Now how can I make it a proposition? By substituting the values of x and y. Once I substitute the values of x and y, then depending on the characteristics of x and y, I can assign truth or false values, right? And depending on the truth or false values, we can evaluate the statement, right? Now see this. Assume that I am writing p of Astra LAN 1. Now what does it mean? Computer Astra is connected to network LAN 1. Now this particular statement is now a proposition because we can assign the truth value to this, either true or false, depending on whether the computer Astra is really connected to LAN 1 or not. Got it? So whenever variables are involved in the proposition, that is called as a propositional function, and whatever values that this variable can take, that is generally called as a domain, right? So next we shall see something called as quantifiers, and when we add quantifiers to the propositional functions, then the meaning of the statement will change. Okay, so in the next few videos we shall discuss about how to add domain to the variable and how to add quantifiers to the propositional functions. In the next few videos we shall see it. Okay, fine.
Hi, if you are planning to do masters, then doing masters abroad is better than doing masters in India. I'll give you all the reasons. So first reason is, out of 1 lakh students who take GATE every year, there are only 500 seats in old IITs. So all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%. And IITs, universities better than IITs, they have very good acceptance rate like 30%, 40%. But all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%. And if you are working hard to get into IIT Bombay's ranking is 177 and IIT Roorkee's ranking is 400. If you are happy to get into IIT Roorkee, then getting into universities better than IIT Roorkee is easier compared to getting into IIT Roorkee. And looking at the salaries for computer science, for software jobs, if you have done your masters in computer science in US, the salaries are ranging from 80 lakhs per year to 1.2 crore per year. So even if you take an average of 1 crore per year, your savings will be much higher than the salaries in India. After taxes and your cost of living, you can easily save 40 to 50 lakhs per year. And in India, the maximum jobs that you get is around 30 lakhs. So your savings will be much greater than the salaries in India. And these are all the services that we provide. University shortlisting. So depending on your profile, we will shortlist what are the universities that you have to apply. And statement of purpose building. And then LOR guidance. And GRE and English test assistance. And education loan assistance. So you don't have to have any collateral, which means without any security, now you can get education loan. Getting education loan is very simple these days, and whatever the amount of fee that you have a range of universities. You can apply for 10 lakh universities, 20 lakh universities or 50 lakh universities, but whatever it is, you are going to get complete education loan, and you can pay off your education loan in 1 year after you get a job. And then we do visa assistance, mock visa interviews, and then connecting with the university alumni. So now you might ask why we should join Game of Visas. So the answer is we have 90% success rate, 99% success rate. And these are all the destinations that we guide the students to. So we guide students to any country that you want to go. So now it is not just USA. We guide to UK, Germany, Australia, Canada. So we guide students to all the countries. We work with all the destinations. And if you are interested in going abroad, you have to just drop us a message on this WhatsApp number 9494 555 454. Okay, thank you.